Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Ni no Kuni. Let's continue. Um, you know, I think we've pretty much seen everything in the intro video on the main menu. But one thing it did definitely remind me is we have completely forgotten about the captain of the ship that I'm on right now. Like that was a whole part of the story to interact with him, have him be a character, and that was completely abandoned um, as soon as we had that Eye in the Storm fight, where Shadar summoned the Eye of the Storm, which, by the way, it would have made a lot of sense for them to bring back the Eye of the Storm at some point, and us to actually have to fight it and do something with it, but it is very questionable what you could actually do with a giant eye floating in the sky that creates a storm on the seas. It is nothing but a pun, certainly. Uh, and that really leaves another example in this game of them having simple thoughts and nothing more than that simple thought to interact with and deal with. Like, instead of it being a connected character, the Eye of the Storm or the captain, and really mattering, it's just, oh, we wanted an idea. We wanted to hand this idea to Studio Ghibli. And so even from the beginning, it really is a case where it feels like Ni no Kuni is just trying to milk the fact that they convinced Ni no Kuni to they convinced Studio Ghibli to do some animations for them and milk the fact that they're trying to sell the game on this concept without really having any compassion or soul in their artistic desire to create things. I don't think there really is an artistic desire to create things. I think it's basically they took the general concepts that exist in most Ghibli movies and tried to mix them all together, and it comes off as unauthentic to say the least. But I guess we can see the captain here in this cutscene. So he's just been missing for hours and hours. Swain says, "Ah, it's a ghost ship. Don't be so silly, Swain. There's a much simpler explanation." The girl's correct. It's no ghost ship. So what the heck is it then? It's a ghost galleon. Ghost galleon? Look closely. There are many cannons protruding from the sides, are there not? It is one of the legendary and most fearsome warships constructed for the conflicts of the ancients. So I wonder if ghosts really um, are going to run this ship, or if it's going to turn out that there's a bunch of robots still running the ship. Uh, they keep talking about the ancients, and then at some point that really needs to pay off better, or the ghost of one at least. So it's even worse than the ghost ship? Ha ha ha. That'd be, shipmates, worse than the worst nightmare you've ever had. Or, hmm, whose voice is that? They who come alongside the Black Porpoise unbidden in their voyages at the bottom of Davy Jones' locker. Interesting that there would be a Davy Jones's locker reference in this world. 'Tis the law of the seas. Davy who? I'm Drippy, mun. You're thinking of someone else. B.I. Arg. That's terrible rude of me. Forgive me, shipmate. Arg. What be I saying? Jetsam. On deck with ye. Run these scurvy dogs to ye ne'er de where. Not a Matan ye. So we have a boss fight, not with a holder per se of one of the stones, uh, but with a mechanical character. Let's see if he's weak to fire. Nope. Let's see if maybe light hurts him. Nope. Let's see if pulse hurts him. Pulse hurts him. But, interesting. Also, as a boss fight, I am defeating him very easily. So either we are going to have two boss fights all at once in a row, which might be interesting, twist, or this guy is particularly weak to something I'm doing. And it might very well be the case that he is supposed to be particularly weak, because it might be a case that uh, these guys are gonna start being our friends. What was that? Near the way Nonomatron. No good pile of nuts and bolts, more like. Ain't it though? Proper hunk of junk it was. Funny looking too. Arg, you're no lily-livered landlubbers, I'll give you that. But the nightmare ain't over yet. Why, it's barely begun. Har har har. It's that voice from before. Who is that? Show yourself. Har har, what's the matter, girl? Did the gulls take your eyes? I'd be right here. Arr. Huh? It's him. So now we have bizarrely head-shaking skeletons that the pattern in which they shake is a little weird, because it's like they're rattling each other. Har, you gave Jetsam a sound scuppering. You've backbone all the way to that, but it's not a bit as much backbone as me and my scurvy crew here. We're bone from keel to topsoil, ain't we, boys? Har har, why, Captain, you're the wittiest skipper ever to sail the seven seas. Har har. I'll make no bones about it, Captain, you're a regular laugh tryant. Crikey, it wasn't that flipping funny. What are you people, anyways? You're not really skeletons, are you? Well now, shipmate, I be the dreaded Captain Crossbones, skipper and master of this here tub we call the Black Porpoise, and scourge of every inch of the ocean from here to eternity. Our Captain, you've a fine way of with words. 'Tis poetry, Captain, pure poetry. Now then, state your purpose. What business have you with me, cutthroat crew? We're looking for the three magic stones, and the map brought us here. Har har. Here to rob us of our treasures, are you, by thunder? And not just any treasure, but the very jewel given us by the Wizard King himself. Oh yes, you're plucky ones, I'll give you that. Huh. Huh? So he's got the flaming thing, has he? It would have to be him, wouldn't it? Flipping typical, that is. We sea dogs value our treasures more than our very lives themselves. Why do we dive for at least a little trinket amongst them? And if we weren't already dead, of course. Har har har. Har har. Another captain. Another just fit to slay a man. Har. Har. I've died all over again. This is another great example where this should be voice acted so it would come off a lot better. The comedy would come off a lot better. It's also very weird to have the captain just standing around. He's just not saying anything or an important character. Call me silly, but I'm starting to like these skeletons, says Esther. The swollen-headed fool is the legendary Captain Pa. The stones is the greatest treasure in all of our holds full of plunder. You'll have to prize it from me cold dead hands, you scurvy dog. But we need it, whatever it takes. We have to have it. Or her, whatever it takes, you say. Hmm. So why not have that line of dialogue uh, happen first, then all the other dialogue after that? Well, okay, the good news here, I guess, is then that this is going to just be uh, a one-on-one fight, unless he decides to summon some skeletons. So we'll just see if Arrow of Light hurts him, which that is not surprising at all that it does. And if anything, it does look like it does enough damage to be a real thing. Dirty Cheap keeps pinching off your HP, Ollie boy. Make sure you whack him sharp as if he looks like he's trying it again. It's the only way you'll stop him. Okay, so the trick here is to hit him the second he looks like he might be trying anything fishy with his plunder attack. And at this point, still don't quite have enough to use an espresso. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the problem, though, is his wind up for health stealing is not particularly a long wind up. And he does have like 2 attacks. These boss fights, though, are definitely not as varied as I would like them to be. Hmm. This again feels a little too easy. Part of this definitely is the case that they made it so that it was a branching path, and we could have done this fight before we did the other 2 fights to get the other 2 stones. So that potentially is the reason why now this is way too easy. There is a different scenario, certainly, where fighting the snake would have been the easy fight, or fighting the wolf would have been the easy fight. Alright. Can't really do anything. We'll just let all out attack, and there's somebody's pointing a cursor to indicate this guy, but so I literally wasn't even involved in the final killing blow there. But it's very noticeable there was no dungeon in this. So this was always going to be a fairly short one. Let's see. Sharp blades, storm of damage for 4. Whereas a lot of these other ones that are like war cry to boost attack probably aren't worth it. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I've ever even used Warcry because I don't think it's been equipped. Hmm. Sharpen. Boost the attack of a single ally. Might not be a bad idea. Let's see if there's something. Instead of blinding somebody. Hmm. That was really a ton of XP that we got also. I almost feel like there might be a third fight. Hmm. But doesn't seem like there will be. Of course, now there's been no indication as to how we put these stones into the wand. Our captain, don't die on us, captain. Har har har. What do you mean, lads? I'd be dead already. Captain. Arg, this is all you're doing, you meddling scalawags. Pa, you call us thieves, you attack us, and then you have the gall to accuse us of meddling worms? Wait. I don't think they're bad people, says Oliver. People? It's just been a while since we've been called that, lad, an age, in fact. Aye, that it has. Remember the golden old days, the slip of a slope we started out pirating on all of those years back. I guess that's sloop. Our oh, talk amongst yourself, why don't you? Our remember the captain in them days? What a terror! Drove us like slaves he did, till we was honored by the wizard king himself. Afeared of nothing we were. 'Twas a golden age for men of fortune. From horizon to horizon, the sea was our big blue oyster. Why are we getting this backstory at this point? Who cares? Like, it's when you start to get this amount of unnecessary backstory, I kind of wish Swain or somebody would just shoot them, just to end them talking. But maybe they're supposed to give us some information. We had sailed the Black Porpoise to the world's end and beyond, and but we wasn't destined to live forever. Time caught up with us, and sure as the tide, aye, that did. And then we was not but salt-soaked souls, becalmed on the seas of the afterlife, until the captain came back to us, that is, just as we always knew he would. Like, honestly, I think the only thing they could tell us is maybe how to win at the casino games, but I don't know if there is some kind of cheating way to win at the casino game, and that casino element has not even been mentioned as a thing. It feels like it was a pointless add-on. And we took to the waves once more. Arg, never a happier day did I see. Never indeed. What more could a cutthroat crew have wished for in death? And we've been lucky indeed. Truly, I have no regrets, nay, not a one. Or not even you were born with a face. And see, this is another example of where the captain's dialogue just disappears automatically instead of having to press the A button to move it forward, so it's moving too fast. I wonder if I turned up the text speed at some point. Should, like, I should check that. But if I did, I probably did it from the main menu and can't change it in game. Har har har, Captain, you've outdone yourself. I've wet my private pirate pants. Har har har. Arg, there, so you have it, Stone Saints. We've had ourselves a fanless joint. It's funny that they're looking up. It's like they're reading it in the sky, too. Okay, says Oliver. Again, I missed. Anchors away. Arg. So I missed most of what the captain was saying there. 3 out of 4 lines. Dot dot dot. Well, they seemed happy. Yeah, it seems like things that worked out all right for them in the end. I think of I can think of worse ways to go. I suppose you're right. Do you really think they're gone for good, though? Somehow, they don't seem like the types to hang up their cutlasses and settle down to a nice, peaceful afterlife. There is definitely some weirdness if you lived in a world where skeletons were always around and fairly obviously existed. Now we get some voiced actor. Yeah, this counselor character is definitely way more interesting now than Shadar is. Shadar is just coming off as a bad guy. But this guy is your swift boy, I'll give you that. It seems you have yourself a full set of magic stones already. We couldn't have done it without Tingri. Uh, there's nowhere he can't fly. Grohar, he's done me proud. He may be a mere fledgling, but he has all the makings of a legendary dragon. Now you know what needs doing next, I take it. Those magical stones need to be reunited with that wand of yours. They mentioned a forbidden spell in the previous scene. We have no idea what that is. They also mentioned that there was a Halcyon city or age, which that may play a role in the narrative. Uh, so we just need to put the magic stones back in the holes of the wand, which even visually you can tell that the magic stones are way bigger than the wand. Okay, here goes. Arg. Hmm. Uh-oh. Eh? They'll never fit. Flipping heck. What's all this about? They're the wrong blooming size, ain't they? Are you blind or something? I guess I didn't think to check. I mean, we were so busy looking for them. Not seriously telling me we ended up with a bunch of worthless counterfeits, are you? No, they're real. Of that, there can be no doubt. The keepers of the stones you crossed swords with were real enough, were they not? Then why don't they fit the wand? 'Tis the morn star that has changed size. Like as not, it shifted shape to fit the hand of its new owner. But there is bound to be a way to get the stones to follow suit. Or some wise soul has scribbled it down somewhere. I've a nose for plunder, and I'd say you'd best have a sniff around the same place you first heard tell of the Mornstar, and I first came by the map. Hamlin, of course you're right, Kuba. So it's back to Hamlin again, is it? Seems to become a habit. Come on then, Oliver. Okay, let's go see how Marquesians during Marquisian, another character we've kind of forgotten about. Um, let's see. We could talk to everybody just to see if we'll get any new alchemy things. And then I kind of want to walk out of this area and cast the spell. I think at this point I don't have a single thing, so if this guy, he wanted the item, we didn't get any of that. We're at full health. Let's see. Seek Fortune doesn't do anything here. We'll see if Seek Fortune points us towards anything around here. Yeah. There are several chests. Let's see. So let's see. I really don't want to grind a lot, but it wouldn't probably hurt. We're still trying to get that one character up 5 more levels. So there is work to be done. So we go back to Hamlin probably, and then that will, I suspect, lead us towards that'll probably lead us towards another area. I have no idea if this character has been captured before. Hmm. Let's see. We were over here to do a fight. Right. Next one is over here. We kind of know, though, that these are numbered. Numbered chests, so that it's highly unlikely that these are refilling. Of course, we're also going to run into a problem where the Seek Fortunes could be cheaper if I did some more errands and reduce the cost of spells. Since Oliver is a wizard, effectively, and doing spells is a major factor in that, it would have made some sense for the spells to get cheaper a lot quicker anyways. Come on. It should be right. Should be right here. Man, that is rough. And we don't have the ship. And I feel like maybe there is an item that would call the ship. Just don't remember what it would be. No, actually, we do have the ship there. It just didn't spawn in. I wonder if the ship all automatically spawns near any shoreline. Hmm. All right. I think we'll go ahead and just fast travel to Hamlin after this. We got a few of the chests. If we are going to try and get all of them, it will be some kind of cleanup action. And honestly, I don't have enough faith that I'll care about this game enough to want to do a cleanup action. Plus, if I am going to do a cleanup action where I would just fly all over the entire world looking for invisible chests, doing that when I'm at level 60, 70, maybe 100, and running into creatures that would just flee from me always or be one hit kills always would be a better position to be in. Shadar oddly seems to have decided to not attack directly again, which is silly because he nearly defeated us the one time we actually did have to fight him. So unless we hurt him a lot more than it seems, that seems weird. And see, yeah, I suspect Hamlin quest is either going to have us go to the upper part of that island, or it's going to have us go in the lower left-hand part of the map where all of that area was covered by fog. Yeah. If we look at the map, I think the easiest thing to do would be to take this as a fast travel, even though it fades out and is a bit of a load, and then run down this way. This is a long, long run, certainly, because then you get down that hallway, then you're over here. And I definitely didn't talk to every single person, so there is, yeah, there is definitely going to be a possibility that anywhere in this game, I somebody has some kind of alchemy formula for me, and I just have to talk to every single NPC in the game to try and find it. Also, I suppose eh, these little mini puzzles, these little stealth missions that happen like only once, um, they kind of suck in the fact that they don't come back up. Like you would have expected that there would have been another stealth puzzle every couple hours. Something simplistic, something easy. Yeah. We never really got an explanation as to why this was the place we traveled in time. I don't know if there really was any explanation or reason behind it. It may have just been it happened there, and that's just that. Hmm. Guess what? Your princeliness. We've got all the stones. You have Morningstar's magic stones. You received a map from Kublai. That's right, Your Highness. Actually, he kind of gave it to us. So maybe we're supposed to go back to talk to this guy several times. I suspect he probably only had like one sentence extra that we may have missed, though, if we had come back and checked. And the only thing I could think is maybe he is he has some spell that he can give Oliver. I really don't suspect that Marquesian would be stronger as a wizard and be able to put the stones back in. Kublai helped you, the sky pirate? He's not a bad sport once you get to know him. He took us under his wing, like, even gave us a dragon to fly about on tidy, eh? He gave you a dragon? Can this be true? It's true, Your Highness. Tingri helped us find the 3 magic stones. We couldn't have done it without him. And where is the dragon now? I guess he's just flying in the air and you call him down when you need him. Problem now is that I have to stick the stones back in the Morning Star, and I won't lie to you, we don't have the foggiest. We were kind of hoping you might be able to help us, Your Highness. Please give me the wand and the stones. I wish to examine them. This is a rather tricky one. Well, don't tell me you can't help us either. The stones are just too big, aren't they? Well, if it were a mere matter of unifying the sizes of the wands and the stones, my powers would more than suffice. So he could do that. Interesting. But I'm afraid it's not only their dimensions that are out of alignment. There's another problem. One that I lack the ability to resolve. Hang on a minute. Are you telling us that it ain't just the wonky sizes we have to worry about? And that it's never flipping easy, is it? I think I've got it. Just think for a moment. What exactly did you get? When exactly did you get a hold of the Morning Star? It was when we were sent back to the past, which means the problem may stem from attempting to join the Morning Star of 15 years past with stones you obtained here in the present. Alongside this, as long as there is time difference, so to speak, it may not be possible to unite them. So we need to find Morning Star here in the present. If only it were that simple. I had men search for it, but it seems it has been destroyed. Not a trace of it remains in our time. Hold on. We brought it here with us from the past. So surely it would make sense that it doesn't exist in the present as well. I don't know why they're bringing up that aspect of a time paradox. Oh yeah, wait, what? Hold on. This is all getting a bit too flipping and complicated for me. There may be one who can help you. I speak of Kulan, one of the 4 great sages. Her magical powers were the most formidable. So if we could find the great sage at Kulan, she can help us with Morningstar. We're talking about Kulan, the queen of the heavens, right? She ruled a city in the clouds called Xanadu, but that place was destroyed, yes. So maybe that's where Shadar is in Xanadu. Jeepers, her city was destroyed? Can it really be 5 years ago? Yes, it must be. 5 years ago, news reached us that Shadar had attacked the celestial city of Xanadu. But by the time we mustered our forces, it was too late, and when Hamlin's airborne divisions arrived, Xanadu had been wiped from the map. I'm afraid I do not know what became of its queen and her subjects, but perhaps if you're lucky, by a fat chance, it sounds like Shadal dealt with him just like he dealt with your predecessor. Swain, please. In any case, it is not within my power to help you. For that, I can only apologize. Don't worry, Your Majesty, there must be another way. Well, if we can't find Kulan. I guess we'll try another great sage. Another. Well, Alicia is no longer with us, which leaves only Rashad. Yes, my father. I'm sure. My father sure to know something. Your father. Ah, now I see where you get your wisdom. Yes, Rashad may well be able to help you. Ah, thank you, your majesty. Humph. We're not gonna find out anything hanging around here swapping compliments. Let's be off, shall we? Sure, let's go find somebody who can help us. There's only there's they're out there somewhere. I just know they are. So it seems like we are on the reunion tour, as it were. Um, Going around back to major characters. Hmm. It, the game oddly does not want me to just travel, so something must trigger. It's not particularly kid friendly, but it would kind of make some sense if we were forced to walk out here and see that Shadar is attacking this city, and then we start to see Shadar defeating and destroying every city we visited so far. Gosh, look at her. That's kind of out of the blue. Hmm. That's not the type of armor you found around these parts. There's no snout for starters. So we just have a new character being introduced. Just out of the blue, just standing there. Hmm. There sure is something strange about her. Hold on, could she be... What is it, Swain? Is she a friend of yours? Hey, yeah, we go way back. But seriously, is it's that armor she's wearing. It's what they wore in Xanadu. You what? I thought Xanadu was destroyed. So she's a survivor, is she? There's lucky. Come on, Ollie boy. Let's find out what our girl's got to say for herself. So she's probably a ghost, would be my guess. Yep. Pale silent glowing. Yep, I reckon you need to use the spell if you want to chat with this one, Ollie boy. So either ghosts are drawn towards where they're needed, or they are only appear when they're needed. Can it be? Can you see me? Of course we can. Why wouldn't we be able to? Now it is kind of weird that Swain can see a ghost. Like Esther, it makes sense being the daughter of a great sage, Oliver being a wizard. It makes sense. But Swain is just the son of the king of Hamlin. But I guess maybe the king of Hamlin knew enough magical tricks to maybe pass it along. And I guess there is some magic in both of his sons. Of course we can. Why wouldn't we be able to? Oh, this is marvelous. And you can hear me too. Sure, we can hear you. But if we're using spirit medium to speak to you, it must mean you're correct. I lost my life some time ago, and you're the first to notice my presence. Well, we weren't going to miss you in that get-up, were we? So you came from Xanadu, did you? Indeed, the celestial kingdom of Xanadu was my home. I was in charge of protecting our queen. But Shadar destroyed Xanadu, didn't he? So I guess you, no, I did not fall in battle. I was I was slain by a comrade, fellow citizen of Xanadu, which maybe this is where we're going to get the backstory of The Dark Gem. Huh? What do you mean? What you said was correct. Correct? Shadar did indeed lay waste to my home. The fiend made his way into the inner sanctum of the palace unnoticed by anyone. Our magic had no effect on him. Even the mighty sorcerer of Queen Kulan was useless. Kulan, but we heard she was the most powerful magic. She had the most powerful magic of all the great sages. Nonetheless, it was of no use. She too was powerless against him, but Shadar did not take our lives. No, he robbed us of something else. He stole our hearts. He took the hearts of all who dwelled in our city. He stole all of your hearts? Indeed, and without hearts to call our own, we lacked emotion, we lacked reason. And that was how it came to pass that you've said enough. I can imagine what happened then, believe me. Shadar will pay for this. What happened that day I will never forget. Its horror is forever etched in my memory. That's so horrible to be killed by one of your own people. I'm I'm so sorry. Do not pity me. My people still have hope. Hope? What do you mean? Queen Kalon, the Queen of the Heavens, she lives still. Huh? She does? But we thought that now that I dwell in the spirit realm, I can feel her presence. I can sense my queen's power. It would make some sense for P to be the Queen Kulon, as they probably need to start wrapping up the stories and not introducing new characters. Um, if P was the queen and she was hiding in that might make some sense. For years I've searched for her without cease, but she was not to be found in this kingdom. I sensed her presence somewhere to the north of here, but I sensed something else too. An evil so terrible I feared to approach it. North of here, do you mean the Tombstone Trail? Maybe. Time was there were other kingdoms on this continent. Now there's only Hamlin and the odd town or two. But if she's out there, we have to find her. We've got Tingri. If the Queen of the Heavens is somewhere around here, we're sure to find her. Do you mean it? Do you really mean to search for her? You have my eternal gratitude. Don't worry, ma'am. We won't let Shadar get away with what he's done. Besides, we have our own scores to settle with that fiendish scoundrel. We'll stop trying to impress her by sounding all heroic. What he means to say is, leave it to us. I thank you most humbly. I am deeply grateful. They should have given this character a name. The question mark seems unnecessary. Or they could have just given her a label of guard. Deceased guard. A ghost. I almost forgot. Should you find Queen Kulan or any other survivor for Xanatar, will you give them this? It was damaged by fire that swept through our realm, but is the only remaining proof that my city and indeed myself ever existed. Sure, leave it to us. So we've obtained a badge called the Wings of Xanadu. That's enough chit chat. It's time to scour Autumnia and see if we can find Queen Kulan. And oddly, the game wants me to go this way. Let's see if there's anything else here. We don't really have a lot of gold. I want to ask this question. We had accidentally reached the city Perdita. Let's just fast travel to this and see if that's where we're supposed to go. Like, this is where? Yeah. Like, I thought this was going to be a place we were going to go to fight the, like, snake creature and capture a stone, and that didn't happen. Yeah. And this is a Xanduvian guard. So I guess this might be the right place. Who goes there? Ah, I see you're not from these parts. I'm very observant of you. Listen, we'd love to stay and chat, but we've got things to do. This town has been blessed by a higher power. I cannot allow the likes of you to disturb the tranquility of such a sacred place. Gee, sorry, mister, we didn't know, but we're not here to disturb anything. Talk about a warm, flipping welcome. This miserable so and so could do with some lessons in hospitality from my dear old ma'am. Cease your senseless witherings. I will not let you pass. Begone, I have important matters to attend. The sacred ceremony is about to begin, and Queen Kulan will not be kept waiting. Hang on, did you just say Queen Kulan? It's her we're after. Ah, just as I thought. You intend to harm our queen. Well, you shall not do so while I draw a breath. No, you've got it all wrong, master. We just want to speak to her. Mister. Somebody told us that she was still alive, and the person gave us this medal. But how? Tell me. Where did you find this? We met a lady in Hamlin. She was wearing armor just like yours. Can it be? Is she here now? No. She said she wouldn't travel north. I reckon she had enough on her plate already. What with her being dead and all. But this, can it be true? Can she really be gone? It seems our friends here in this mystery woman have some history. I fear she had not escaped, but I cannot allow my feelings to come before my duty. Tell me, what business have you with the queen? There's something we need to ask of her. I see. Well, I will let you pass, but I'm afraid you may be out of luck. What, you mean we can't see Queen Kulan? I feel she will have no time for you now. Did I not say that she's preparing to preside over the sacred ceremony? For the time being, take a look around the town and see how it has blossomed since receiving the blessings of the Queen of the Heavens. A lot of dialogue all in one row, and I'm bumping the mic a couple times there while I'm reading the dialogue. With all these snake things, I kind of feel like the uh, queen is going to be a snake creature. And then you have kind of like Mongolian looking people. Yet another set of outfits. Alpaca instead of alpaca. Getting pretty good rewards, I have to say. Let's see what we can buy. Major improvements on weapons, but I can't afford any of them. And at a certain point, I think it is getting down to the point where I really should just be um, buying one weapon for one character, the main characters, because we're not using the other characters that much, and it's just not really doing anything. Could buy one of these. But that would literally only work for that, like one character. We've got no upgrades as far as treats and no unique items that he's selling. I don't want to sleep in the hotel yet. It is odd that there is no well, I am playing on easy difficulty. And I do have the text display speed at the highest, so it's my own darn fault I suppose that I'm missing some of this, but it's probably saved me at least an hour in gameplay by having the text speed up that high. So this would be almost certainly the best place to come back and check every now and then if we need food. Yeah. Probably won't be able to afford too much. Let's see. And the board is carved. So we don't have a single one of these new. That implies we probably haven't triggered anything new. Hmm. So I was expecting to get 2 new um, cities. I suspect we may actually be actually approaching closer to 3 more cities. These guys are not saying anything at all. Still not really getting a lot of gold. Right, so it wants me to go that way, which I assume that means that I actually can't um, go into this area. My guess is that this is a temple dungeon. Hmm. And the fact that there's 2 chests in the same area does really imply that there's not going to be a very, very large city. So this guy will probably say you can't go any further. Okay. So the queen is there, which that makes sense. Let's look upward here and see if there's any secret green chests that would just be on top of anything. There isn't a shop that sells weapons, it seems. So what is this building? This seems different. And the game wants us to come in here. We still can't open these purple chests. Yeah. Let's see what she has to say. Aye, that guard, what was he thinking? Why has he let in more outsiders? First there was the giant man and now children. Giant man? Excuse me, ma'am, we're looking for Queen. Go on, the guard said she was somewhere around here. So you've come to receive her blessing. Here we go, of hoping again. What's all this about sacred ceremonies and blooming blessings? Okay. They're like half Mongolian, half Mexican as a society, which okay, that's slightly interesting as characters, but it really is just going to boil down to different outfits on pretty much the same body types. Although this old lady looks pretty unique as a her character's head style and hairstyle. Um, really, I think what Ni no Kuni should have done is reduced it down to half as many cities with more characters with personalities in those cities, and coming back to them again and again and again to really learn their history and learn what they're all about and how they act. Um, Anyways, Kay, you came to Perdita, and yet you know nothing of the blessings. Look deep into the eyes of the people here. See how that we are blessed. Um, I wonder if they're like high or drugged. Oh, we've seen them all, right? Those people aren't blessed. They're broken-hearted. Seems like some blessings aren't worth counting. Oh, so I wonder if everybody in the city is broken-hearted. But well, I guess that would make sense for why the city would be so small if you have to go find a piece of heart for every single character. Although it's kind of hard to figure out that a character even needs what piece of heart each character needs if they're not interacting with somebody who isn't brokenhearted. Hmm. Otherwise, they just all kind of would walk around sort of like zombies. Okay, did the man say, Yaya? Our hearts, they are broken? And then we have Annie Sienna. Pay no attention, Carino. The blessings we have received have lifted the fear from our hearts. Do you know how many tens in this land have been wiped from the map by the Dark Gen? But you can't give in. You have to stand up to Shadar. Let me take a look at you, Nino. Yeah. Ah, you are a wizard, are you not? How can you know what it is to have no magic, no power, nothing but fear in your hearts? But ma'am, you can't let your heart be broken just because it stops you feeling afraid. He's right. What's the point of a blessing like that? You may as well have your heart broken by Shadar. Nina, Carino, it's nearly time for the ceremony to begin. If you're gonna use the Spanish word Nino and Nina, hmm, you probably shouldn't have a character named Nina. I think that's what just happened there, is that the little girl to the right is named Nina, although that may just have been her calling her little girl, because Spanish Nino and Nina. I think is little boy, little girl. It's finally time for you to join us. It's time for you to be blessed. Yeah, the game labels her as Nina. Um, but I think Nina is Spanish for little girl. I am ready, Yaya. And then she calls her Yaya, which is probably some nickname for grandma or mother, probably grandma. Or then let us go. We must not keep Queen Kulan waiting. Again, this is just an example of just like way too much dialogue in a row. These are definitely the points where throwing in a boss fight or just ensuring that you have to walk down a hallway and fight a few characters would be a little bit more appreciated. Um, Although, in all fairness, had I not already found this area, I would have had to wander the entire island looking for this area, and I probably would have ended up fighting several characters. I'm not sure Queen Kulan's going to be much help, you know. Not if she's the one handing out these so called blessings. But if we don't do something, that little girl will end up like everybody else. We have to go after them. In all ways, you're losing a major advantage to having your main protagonist be a little boy in the fact that they sit around and talk everything out far too much. It would make a lot more sense if Oliver, as a kid, just made a rash decision and ran to save her without saying anything. Uh, or just said, "Let's go save her," and that was it. Um, yeah. And again, this is a great example where the voice acting should happen first, not at the later interactions. Okay, so now we have a weird situation, and now that we've seen the character, because Queen Kula seems like she's a bad guy, or at least she's brokenhearted and doing bad things because of that, while being also one of the great sages. But then she's also dark skinned, so here we have the problem of there being almost no dark skinned characters in this game. We've seen maybe one other character. Also, it doesn't make sense that she would be the dark skinned character instead of, say, uh, Esther's father in Alma Mooney and all of the characters in Alma Mooney. Of course, we're in a magical world, so who knows? Uh, it doesn't have a one-to-one equivalence, but yeah, it definitely seems weird that you wouldn't have swapped the two characters out, because that would have made a lot of sense. Just have her be in Alma Mooney and have her be the stepmother of Esther, and then have her Esther's father be the bad guy in this point. Yeah. Also, this dangerously creates a weird situation where, of the great sages, seems like the last two and most powerful of them, Alicia and her, are female. So a slight imbalance there. But that's getting a little nitpicky. More dialogue. Swain says, "I've got a bad feeling about this. Get a load of her eyes. Well, they're all weird. Jeepers, she's brokenhearted. Shadar must have done this when he attacked Xanadu." I thought that was fairly obvious. Like, I know it's been 44 plus hours since we played it into this game, but they said clearly at the beginning of the game at Ding Dong Dell that Shadar breaks the hearts of the leaders of the city. And when he breaks the hearts of the leaders of the city, it then affects everybody else in the city. So obviously, if Xanadu fell, Shadar broke the heart of the leader of Xanadu, and she would still be brokenhearted at this point because it seems like Oliver is the only person that can undo it. So now we know why she's been up to no good, handing out these so called blessings. But if we don't do something, Nina will end up brokenhearted too. No, let me go. What is the matter, my child? I don't want to be blessed. I don't need it. I don't want to be brokenhearted. Everyone is wrong. Nina, how dare you say such things in the presence of Queen Kulan? The child refuses my blessing? Then she leaves me no choice. For the benefit of this misguided, a special ceremony is required. What do you mean to do to her? What's happening? Hmm. Hmm. Void of love. Hmm. Hmm. We're still hearing Drippy rattle. Alright. We'll go ahead and start with Ward. So almost certainly what happens here is uh, we'll defeat this nightmare and hopefully not have too much of a struggle there. And um, and then yeah, it doesn't feel like enough things. Like everybody's poisoned. Yeah, we'll defeat this nightmare and then we'll have pieces of love, and then we'll probably have to run to a bunch of cities to get pieces of love for a bunch of people, and that'll give us a bunch of quests. Hmm. Hmm. I have no idea what to do here. This is not. Let's see. Yeah, I just kind of question whether my character, he does like all kinds of water attacks. Yeah, I don't see why water attacks would be useful. Right. And let's go ahead and use one of these secret sages. No, that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for one that would. Consciousness and HP to all allies. 100 HP, 200 HP to all allies. Hmm. 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 Swain is out. So if Swain is down, that's going to be too much of a fight. So let's bring him back. Hmm. And the windup for these attacks are still pretty bad. Hmm. Draw poison. We can draw poison, that's fine, but that's. We could also just be using poison begons all over the place. Hmm. Hmm. And this guy just attacks too often. I think what I kind of want to do is I want to see if playing as Swain could let Oliver think about like what he's gonna do. Hmm. Which it did nothing. Or did. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know if I can win this, honestly. Like, it's. Yeah. This may be a case where we just kind of need to beat on them physically because there's no other options. And we didn't have an opportunity that had us save or anything, so like could think about saving. Hmm. Resetting this whole area doesn't reset all of these. The only place I guess we would have actively saved though would have been the it would have been coming in here and sleeping. Hmm. Okay. Let's look at our characters. Do any of them have a light attack? No. Not a single one. Guy has a new trick. Yo ho. Grab the attention. Hmm. And I don't think it is a case that I just haven't equipped any attacks. I think it is more of a case that there just really aren't that many. Like any light attack seems to be a healing attack. Healing attack. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. So like I can change these attacks and maybe there's something here to this that would be useful. Hmm. Hmm. But yeah, that kind of doesn't feel like that's going to change too much. I also don't think it's kind of a great reason to feed food to the guy, but well, like we can't get it high enough. He's just gonna fill up his fullness before I get up even like one number. And I didn't get the familiarity high enough. I probably should think about some of these other characters. Like this one, oddly, has just never been upgraded with familiarity at all. And if anything, that's probably our base experiment on that. This one wants magical attack increased, but let's more focus on some other people. This one is evasion. So let's see if we can get the invasion up. Evasion would be something else here. So that one. That brings up the invasion points very high. Yeah, if anything, that proves that the top tier ones of these are better, and I should really limit myself to only using top tier upgrades. This guy's attack, we have no idea what it is. This guy's defense, so we can try and bring that higher. I think he is going to play a big role. Having a very high defense feels like something you're going to need. Alright, fruit flan. It's 5. Yeah, it is an ingredient. Hmm. 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 Right. And this guy's evasion also. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. The other thing to figure out, or try to figure out, those some of these other characters. Like, I suspect this character wants his attack increased. So, let's see if we get a heart from that. No, we don't. So, if he doesn't like that, we really don't have a clue. We can try to see if he likes the fence. Inherently, what this boils down to is by the time you figure out what food any character likes, you will have already leveled up one level potentially. And so then you need a different version of this character. Right, so it's magical attack that he wants increased. Can do. So yeah, at that level, yeah, I guess it also, it's not really worth it to pull him to the max if we weren't struggling with a fight. I guess we are struggling with a fight right now, so yeah. So either you'd have to look it up in a guide and figure out what he likes, what each character likes to start with, or you would have to um, do it the way I'm doing it to figure out what they like, and then start with a new character to get their stats to be potentially the perfect level. So it's not really a great system. This is not too different, frankly, from the Pokemon system, though, where you really would never get a perfect Pokemon as far as stats. Even if you tried, there's random stats that are also hidden. Now, I'm not going to feed that guy. Hmm. Hmm. Doesn't feel like that guy really leveled up as much as he should have. Hmm. Does this guy like defense? Maybe we should bring him back as a character too. Hmm. Nope, he doesn't like defense. Darn it. So now we gotta figure out what he does like. Hmm. He likes accuracy. Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, let's swap this guy out with that guy. Even though he's got all kinds of equipment. We don't really have gold. At that level, we don't really have anything else we can deal with. It's wasteful to try anything else. Like, unless we had some, I don't know what we'd even be looking for. Unless we had some new formulas here. Let's see. We can make a patty cake, which increases magical attack. And we do now know that we should craft those types of things, so we can make a sarsaparilla sundae. Hmm. We can make Snow White ice cream. Hmm. It really is crazy because it feels like we are very late in the game, and yet the now is the time that we are finally finding enough items to actually use the alchemy cauldron. Like, obviously, this game needed a bunch of cheaper, easier things you could make with alchemy to make that work. Right, well, we don't have one of these, so we'll check to see if the cyclone cloak is useful. I don't think we need to make more stalwart scales, though. And that's as much as we can make at the moment, unless there's possibly some alchemy things. It's been a long time since we've gotten any new pages, too. We will sleep at the inn and get a few more pages. But this leaves us with very little other options. Let's see. Robe. It's not the same as a cloak. It's not the same as a shroud. Yet they are all under the same category. Yeah, cyclone cloak that I crafted. It's actually worse than what we have. Hmm. Almost certainly these battlers badge should be replaced with something, but we don't really have it. And I think pretty much all these other weapons are... If there was going to be anything that we could upgrade, it would probably be for this character. Trick type intensified. I don't know what increasing familiar oh no, I do know what increasing the familiar stamina means. Right. So that's the best we can do. And I'm just gonna have to hope that this time, well, we can keep us healthy, give it your all, tactics, and then I'm going to try just smacking the character a lot. Yeah, slash and burn does 145 damage. Mm. 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 Am I getting stuck? Poisoned? Mm. Mm. I guess it is a case that you should probably just go all out when there is a nice. Give me one of these showstopper attacks. The game is seemingly going to just help us by giving us that showstopper attack. Barely had any effect. He doesn't have enough stamina. I should be playing as somebody different while the stamina is recharging. Hmm. 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 It really is just the massive amount of health that are problems. Hmm. 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 Yeah, just good old fashioned fighting and hitting. Hmm. All out. He seems stunned. Slash and burn. We don't have enough to lose. Hmm. We have all these kinds of dots. Hmm. Okay. It's weird that that restores the restored consciousness but not HP to everybody. Hmm. Hmm. So Swain is about to die. And we'll just bring back her. I'm just burning through all of my items though. It was going well before this point, but yeah, now it's not really working. Also still out of MP, I think. And those tiny tears are, and I've tried 2 times now to bring her back and I just keep getting stun locked. I play as Oliver. Oh. Like me attacking this guy for 5 is totally not worth it. We need magic points though. We may just win though. His life is going down fairly quickly. And I'd hate to use an espresso, but it probably is worth it. Just to guarantee a victory. Yeah. In all fairness, it took me only 2 tries to do that, but I also had a lot of concern that I was going to die more than 2 times if I and put a lot of effort certainly into that. We've gotten a new items here called Cherub's Wing, and everything's leveled up basically, so that'll help me somewhat. I need to put the character that I'm still trying to level up back in contention though, because he didn't get any XP from that. He really could have used that XP. So it definitely wasn't a satisfactory victory there because we used a lot of items. Wasn't expecting Shadar. So serves the Kubla serves this queen. Interesting. Do you think Queen Kubla is back to her old self again? Kubla, how dare you? That a bassoon ruffian like you should presume to meddle in the affairs of a queen. Well, my apologies, your highness. I never did know my place, did I? And the same goes for the rest of you. What business can your unruly kind have with such as I? Charming, isn't she? It looks like the Queen of Heaven still is very much broken-hearted. This looks like a job for you, love. Can you do for the Queen what you did for Tingri? Well, we need love, and I suppose this is going to be the romance thing. They've thrown in two adult characters so they can say that he's in love with her. Um, sure, I can. I can mend her broken heart. There's no doubt about it. What her high and mightiness is missing is a spot of love, and that's what makes the world go around, ain't it? So it's love she needs. What do we need? Who do we know that's brimming with love? If it's love you're after, I'm your man. You what? Again, this is another example of the plot line determining that all of a sudden the locket around his neck would glow, and recognize that there is love in the heart of Kubla. You heard me. No man has more love for a woman than I have for Kulan. You love Queen Kulan? Never. Ha ha ha. He loves her. He loves her. Now we know. Now we know. Esther being silly. Enough of that nonsense, nauseating talk of love. The very word, turns my stomach. Graha, thus speaks the fairy maiden I fell for. The fiery maiden I fell for. 'Tis music to my ears. Crikey, it must be love if he's happy taking that kind of abuse on the chin. Yes, what's the story between Kublai and Queen Kulan? I need to know. Calm down, will you? Never mind that now. All we need to know is that Kublai has to share some of his love in his heart with Kulan. For her, quite so. Have at it, lad. The fact that both of their names start with a K and sound very similar makes me almost wonder if they're brother and sister, which would be slightly more interesting than just him being in love with her. Either way, though. Right. So we'll cast Take Heart. Guess we have to talk first. Then we take heart. Hmm. Certainly, with Star showing back up, it does make it feel like that we are closer to the end of the game than I think we really are. There's still too many places. So there's only one more thing, one more piece of heart to discover and learn, which it definitely implies that there should be at least one or two more cities. Now, here's a question. Is the guy back there, I guess he is alive. He's not the ghost. But how? My heart. Kublai. Your Highness, so you're back with us. I spoke so harshly to you just now. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Garhar, think nothing of it. 'Twas a pleasure to hear such rough and ready words from the mouth of a noble born lady. Pray do not mock me, Kublai. I'm just glad Queen Kublai is not broken hearted any more. Too right, and I must say I'm impressed with old Pirate Face by here. That's 2 servings of his heart we've helped ourselves to now. Ah, you're right. It seems as if his love for the Queen is a little bit special. You call me Queen. I am unworthy of such a title. The skyborn kingdom of Xanadu was torn from the heavens and cast into the distant ocean. I could not protect my realm. And then I came to this town and broke the hearts of the people. Truly, I am no queen. But, Your Highness, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. I don't know if I really agree with that, but okay. I mean, she wasn't in control of her actions, certainly, but listen to me. The people of Xanadu saw you as a wise and just ruler. You carried out your duties both as a queen and a sage and trained countless wizards. Have you forgotten all the good you've done? Kublai, what you say may be true, but it does not excuse the harm I have caused. I have inflicted so much suffering. Your Highness, we met a ghost of a lady in Hamlin, a soldier who once served you. She was one of the people who died in Xanadu, and she told us that so long as Queen Kulan was alive, there was hope for her people. She spoke of me, she spoke of hope. And look around you. The people of this town may be broken-hearted, but at least they're alive. Your Highness, let us return to this town to its former self. It may take time, but I know you can do it. You may not be a queen any longer, but you can still stand. But we still stand beside you. You are not alone, and who's to say you can't rebuild Xanadu? Oh, Kublai, thank you, everyone. You're right. It really feels like this is just it as far as us interacting with her or seeing her as a character. Although, if previous history is to be indicated, we'll see her come back for a brief scene or two later on. I cannot give in to despair. I must become someone who can inspire hope in others. That is my duty. You're not the only great sage who was led astray. My father and Marquesian suffered too. Yes, and Oliver here helped them just like he helped you. And now you're all fighting fit. The battle against evil can finally begin in earnest. Wait a minute. There's something I've been dying to ask. I need to know how long something's been going on between Queen Kuline and Kublai. I mean, a queen and a sky pirate. It's so romantic. Do you have to be so nosy? Kublai is known and feared as the king of the sky pirates, but there's more to him that meets the eye. Gar, quite right. I'm a man of many talents, and being the fierce leader of a band of swashbuckling sky pirates is just one of them. Kublai also served as the commander of the Xanaduvian Airborne Division, in which role he fought for Queen Kulan. Avast I can speak for myself, you slack jaw cur. You're a commander in Xanadu? Indeed he was. Since the time of the Wizard Wars, Xanadu has avoided conflict, by, but neutrality cannot be maintained without significant military power. Kublai's forces formed part of that power. I get it. The lowly servant who ended up falling head over heels in love with the queen. That's a classic. Swain, do you always have to be so blunt? But it's true. I watched over her since she was but a girl. Okay, now that's weird because then this once again brings in the odd age differences of all the male characters. Swain, again, seems to be about 10 years older than Esther, and yet they still played him up like they're going to be romantic interest. If Kublai has been watching over her since she was a girl, even if he was fairly young, you'd still have to have, I would say, at least a good 3 or 4 years over, probably a lot more. Because he says, I've watched over her since she was but a girl, and I can't say I don't feel for her, but I am a mere soldier, and there's naught can be done about that. Gee, that must be tough. But that was then. Things have changed. Changed how exactly? Did you not hear my words earlier? I am a queen no longer. There are no ranks or barriers to keep us apart. Can it be? Do you truly mean? I have been quite clear. Please do not make me spell it out. I. Come on, Kublai, don't be so slow. Flipping heck, man, put us out of our misery, won't you? How many times are you gonna make the poor woman say it? Still your chattering tongues, or I'll cut them off. You stand before the king of the sky, pirates. Gara. Alright, alright. The benevolent grace of the Queen of the Heavens at heart has unlocked the story in the Wizard's Companion, which is how the little girl became queen. And I don't think I'm ever going to read any of these. So, fade out. I feel like they considered putting a kissing animation in there, and then they realized they probably can't animate two characters kissing because they're not that good of an animator. You may notice that in none of the 3D animations, the characters actually touch each other and interact. That's actually quite hard to do. Um, Even in the fight animations, it's more of a swipe through a character and a big explosion of indicating contact. Did Kublai always have his helmet looking like a snake? It seems weird that there's so much snake imagery. Yeah. Let's see. Gulan says the hearts of the people of Perdita have been restored. Young Nina, you must have been terribly afraid. I apologize most humbly for my actions. Do not worry, Queen Kulan. I'm happy to have you become so kind and uh, gentle. Everything in Perdita, it's so bright and happy now. We will never give in to Shadar. Words are music to my ears. Truly, children like you are the bearers of hope, the hope of a brighter future. We are We who are old enough to know better choose a path of cowardice. All we wanted was to be free of fear, to protected from the truth. Well, what's done is done, and all that. I just hope that Rado Shadar is still not hanging around about waiting to pounce. Like, I know what I must do. My duty is to protect the people of Perdita from Shadar. I vow never to let his dark despair engulf this town again. I'll make amends for all that I have done. Gracious, Your Highness. Then it seems I've no choice. I'll throw my lot in with you, Your Highness, or protect this puny village together. No Kublai. There are other duties for which you must attend. It is not only this town that must be protected from the dark path of Shadar's despair. With your airship, you must travel freely around the world. Do you understand what it is I ask of you? I do, at that, only too well. No, but you only just got together. Kublai. Though we may be apart, we will always be together as long as we share the same goal. Roho, you're not wrong, Your Highness. You always did have a way with words. Looks like everything worked out then. But before I forget, there was a reason we came here in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, ton of dialogue just to get around to fixing the wand. I'm aware of this. It concerns Mornstar, does it not? Yes, we're trying to restore its power. We we did manage to find the three magic stones, but even Marquesian couldn't reunite them with the wand. It was beyond Marquesian's power, you say? How could that be? Tell me more. And then we skip over the redundant dialogue, thank goodness. Well, he speculated it might be because we brought the Mornstar here from the past. A master wizard who can manipulate time itself. I'm most curious as to what his intentions could be. But I shall ponder that at my leisure. Our priority is to put a stop to Shadar's plans. I will perform the required ritual without delay. So I wonder if each person on the council is supposed to be a wizard that somehow got turned to the side of evil and the White Witch. That would be a lot of people that would be turned. But it almost makes sense too. Like if Shadar could break their heart of wizards over and over again and turn them into powerful allies like he did the queen here, yeah, maybe the Shadar is manipulating people unwillingly and unknowingly to be on the bad guy side. What's weird here is that the White Witch, the titular White Witch as a character, still doesn't really have much character development, so we don't really know what her plans or desires are. Um, but I shall ponder them at my leisure. Our priority is to post up to Shadar's plan. I will perform the required ritual without delay. Tai sounds like old Kulon knows what needs doing to get the Morningstar back into one piece. There's handy. Now, young Oliver, I shall require some assistance in this undertaking. Are you willing to help me? Sure, Queen Kulon. Just tell me what I have to do. Fine response. The ritual must be performed outside. When you're ready, come and see me. Shall be waiting. Hmm. Okay. So do we think it's going to be a boss fight, per se? Or... So we've got these guys back. And there's a chest in the... Can I open this chest? We're looking for the red exclamation point as we're walking, I guess, through it. Just get the... Why would they do this? That's the real question, is why would they put a chest right next to the guy so it would block us? Hmm. 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 So the couple needs confidence. Hmm. This lady has confidence. Ton of dialogue. Hmm. 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 Doing these quests are really just excuses to give us more merit badge stamps so that we can unlock the last few abilities. But you're going to pretty much have to do every single side quest, if we have any real hope of some new alchemy formulas. Hmm. Yeah, if we have any hope of unlocking all the rewards, then we will have to do every single side quest. And that almost certainly is going to be fairly exhausting. This guy is still in front of the chest. So if you get between this guy, it'll let you get stuck. Hmm. By the way, since all these guys fought, I guess they used up most of their They really didn't use most of their food. They each took one chunk out, so I'd have to go through 9 more fights to reduce their fullness, it seems. Hmm. And a lot of these people. Hmm. This guy wants a cold compress, which that's probably from Yule. Hmm. Make sure we talk to everybody. Hmm. Hmm. So that's a gateway spell to get to flowers. So we should potentially consider doing that right now. Hmm. But we may get some other gateway spells. Now would be the time to think that there's potentially a whole bunch of new things. It definitely seems to be the case that there's a large connection, a large amount of things. Oddly, no real new bounty hunts. And I wonder if that is simply because there just aren't going to be that many more bounty hunts in the first place. Right. Cold compress from you. Still, there could have been a weapon shop there. Just trying to talk to every single character. That is a lot of dialogue. We still don't really have anything as far as, nothing we can really afford. Major improvements, certainly. I think there is probably a argument around increasing defense to just keep that defense going higher and higher. We never went in here. We know that there's somebody that's apparently back behind the building. I don't know how I can reach that back behind the building though. Unless it's just this person that we're supposed to talk to. Hmm. Hmm. We've obtained a new regions of the world page. Interesting. So maybe there is a way that we will transport ourselves to Xanadu or the ruins of Xanadu from this area. Yeah. I definitely am questioning. Either there's somebody behind this building And I have no idea how you would get behind this building. Doesn't really feel like there's a way. Or that blue dot is just a person in the shop, unless there's somebody behind this wall, but kind of feels like as soon as I start taking some steps downward, I'm gonna leave the city. I guess the question would be, if we look at this building, there's also a blue dot in this building, so that does tell me that there isn't anybody else that we're looking for. Okay. So it's Cascade Way, go back to Motorville, get the flower. There's only really that one thing to do right now in Motorville. Interesting. That sign looks more like a magic spell sign than just a regular English sign. Hmm. 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 Okay. So we have rejuvenate or quicken growth. Let's see. This is the third time over the entirety of the game that we've cast spells just to fix flowers. Hmm. 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 I just do not care about any of this dialogue, so I'm gonna smash the A button and be done with it as quickly as possible. Going to Motorville to get this flower is easy. Going to Yule to get a cold compress and then find that there's going to be a whole bunch of other quests at all the other cities is not so easy, nor is it as safe. We got all these new formulas too. Fully restore HP with a tonic. All be gone. That's something. Did we get any other? Lost Sword. Plus 58. Saint Sword. Plus 67. We're missing most of the ingredients for these new alchemy ideas. If anything, it just implies that we're going to start seeing even more variety in the drops of items. Really, we are going to be lucky if we ever have just enough resources to build one of everything. And at a certain point, maybe that should be the system where you can, with alchemy, make one of something and that's it. And then after you've made one of something, it then becomes available in multiples to be purchased in stores, or you can only have one of them at all. If we look at the numbers here, we have 128, we're missing 127, 125. But of 128, as we walk down, it does seem like we have we are approaching 60-70% of all of the formula um, formulas. Like, so there really can't be too much more around that. Yes, the progress report could potentially tell us that. Alchemy completion, they're saying 17%, and I find that very hard to believe, because if we have only 17% of the formulas, and that's what that percentage is referring to, then there's well over 1,000 formulas, and that doesn't make sense. So the completion percentage must mean something else. It's probably a combination of several things. Yeah, I think it's going to be fairly funny if we ended up in a fight again. So, like, why is it asking? Yeah, that does seem like that's going to be a battle. Yeah. And I don't want to start another battle after kind of struggling with the battles. Otherwise, yeah, no real new item. We still have yet to do anything with these tickets, like where you're even supposed to use them. Let's see, this cherub's wing is an ingredient towards something, which is odd because in this category I don't think anything else here is really an ingredient towards anything. Oddly, it doesn't seem like we're going to get any upgrades on Swain's guns or Esther's harp. If we are, it's going to be a while from now, because it's taken us forever just to get to the Mornstar. It would be kind of nice if we make the full powered version of the Mornstar, and then that just magically improves the weapons of the other two characters. Let's see. And where are we on the journal? It has been an incredibly long journey, and yet we are not even 40 chapters as the way they break it down. There's been an incredible amount of errands. Oh, it felt like it, but we're not even up to 84 on that. But we can also see that bounty hunters start at 86. So, yeah, there can't really be that many more quests. Anyways, yeah, we're going to be done with the errand side quests. Yeah, I don't know how many times we'll end up doing more pieces of heart at that rate. Probably not as much. I am almost certainly never going to bother to read all of this as far as these tales. We have a 9th tale and a 10th tale and a 12th tale, so I wouldn't be surprised if this might be an indication of 2 more bosses to fight, or 2 more places to sleep. Maybe 1 boss to fight, 1 more hotel. The 12th tale may very well not unlock until the end of the game. As far as regions of the world, you have this other world, not a world for which little is known. Is that supposed to be Motorville? Yeah. I think Motorville is the other world. And then you have the Lost Continent. Hmm. And we kind of know what a lost continent is, too. I almost wonder if the lost continent is supposed to be some kind of remastered DLC edition. Have kind of forgotten that this game is remastered. It doesn't really feel like it's been remastered. Hmm. And yeah, not seeing a page that would indicate something, a new area. This is weird. The map is showing something new though, with these red stars. I question what the red stars are supposed to be pointing to. I think they're pointing to stones. So we may have to visit all the stones as the next part of the quest, which, okay, that would make sense. Like, there's very little on the map we haven't seen. But that's not what it looked like that they had revealed. This was the page that was revealed. Xanadu, a lost city floating in the sky, spiraling up from a mountaintop. On some island. And this is mysterious forest dwellers and secret homes of the forest dwellers. Oh, and there's just a whole bunch of backstory that I didn't even realize existed as little extra pages. Yeah, it's gonna kind of suck because almost certainly what we would want to do is read like all of the book, but what will almost certainly happen is I'll get towards the end of the game and I'll just zoom into like the first page here, and then I'll just start flipping the pages, and then I'll just like really fast start flipping through it and get bored halfway through. We still have some spells. Somebody's got to give us some more spells. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Kublon. We still have, let's see, some kind of tree. What section is this? It's monsters. And then legendary beasts, the Noblia. Still don't know about them. And then we still have the tails. These brown ones are all the tails. And then these are all spells. And that's pretty much all that's not hidden, except for some things that are hidden as far as alchemy, which does make me wonder if there's some other ability around alchemy we have yet to learn. And the whole sign system does not really matter. I have never considered it or thought about it at all while playing. Yep, and I feel like I'm at this point just gonna drag things out. The Wizard's Companion is at 61%, Creature's Companion is still at 45%. I don't think we captured a single creature. It's clearly 100 creatures extra that I haven't captured, and I'm not sure I could capture. I could come over here and then evolve this guy. It's probably worth it to do that. Plus, it would be an interesting experiment to see if that refills the hunger or anything on these characters. Nope, it doesn't change their hunger ability or level or anything when you evolve them. Or metamorphose them, whatever it's called. Alright. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.